You are listening to CraftCast, the podcast, where soul meets craft. We are back. We made it through a snowstorm, and we are back. If you are listening from someplace and had lots of snow, I hope you had a snow day. I had a fun one. I stayed in the studio and did fun stuff. But today, Patrik and I are so excited to have on a guest. We've known each other for many years, Tamara Honaman. Welcome, hon. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, thank you,
Welcome.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so wonderful to be here with you guys. Thank
We
you.
we like to have a good time. Now, let's first go back in history a little bit where we would have all known and met. Tell us about the magazine you worked on, what you did and what you loved.
Oh my gosh, I'll try to be short. I joined Lapidary Journal in 1997, and the wonderful and amazing Merle White took me under her wing in 2000, and I moved into the editorial department, and life changed. It was a rocket ship, and plus it was also a really amazing time to be in the space of publishing because there was so many things. People were so hungry for information, and
Yes.
you know, it made it possible to do all sorts of fun stuff.
But wait, before you continue, were you making, Julie, both Patrik and I did magazines. We love magazines. It was
Oh
our
yeah.
life, magazines. But
Yes.
now, were you doing any metal clay or jewelry before that job?
Yes, I was. And that's the only reason I think she had any faith that because I was teaching, locally, small stuff. I was teaching, I was making, I couldn't get enough of it. And I was doing some writing outside of my job because I was in the business department. And because I brought some of that ability to an area where she had none, she said, I will share with you all of what I can do, and you will share with me what I can't do. And we made it work. I mean, she truly,
Yeah,
truly transformed my life, honestly.
that's great. And it's rare too to have both of those skills, right? It's like one of those things that if you're an artist, you're an artist. If you do another thing, you're a tech person or whatever, usually the two don't really meet, but it's nice to have both of those skills.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I don't think I really understood that until I got a little further along and I met and worked with more artists. And I was like, dude, like, why can't you get your stuff in on time?
Right. Right.
You
This
know,
Deadline
isn't rocket
what?
science.
we talk about, because Patrik and I have always been under deadlines our whole life, but it worked for us. Okay, it's over. It's that piece is
You
finished.
don't miss a
It's
deadline.
deadline. You have to do
Yeah, you don't
deadline.
miss a deadline.
Yeah. It's the printing presses. You had to reserve your time on the printing press. You can't miss that.
You can't.
Yeah.
You
Well, so
can't.
then we're like the three people in the whole world who get both sides. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course, there's many of us. It's just, it's
But we
it's
can
it's a gift.
understand.
Yep.
Yeah. With each other. So I understand. So that was fabulous. And then tell people to remind them what you love doing there, your section that you like to do.
Oh my gosh. I took over the project section. So I got to work with all the people like Patrick who were creating and wanting to, spread the joy of making through education. And so the magazine afforded the opportunity for us to, share projects with people no matter where you were, right inside the magazine. And what we found was that part of the magazine was so successful. People wanted more and more and more, and you only have so many pages. We started a second magazine. And so we launched step by step, and it became step by step bees. We had step by step jewelry, step by step wire, and it really was about the making. And then the artist behind it. And it gave us a lot of room to do many, many, many educational pieces outside of what Lapidary Journal's true nature was more on the, higher end art side of life. Step by step was definitely more for the people who were interested in
Projects.
trying something different. Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was all, I'm trying to put it in coordination with internet and anything
Oh
online.
my
Certainly there
gosh.
was
Yeah.
nothing in the beginning
Oh,
there.
no,
Yeah.
no, nothing. And we had a young lady who worked with us who was so innovative and so on the right on top of what it all meant to have a website. And she was building it in the office next to me, and she was amazing. So we had a website at some point, but Not like what we're used to today.
No, not. But I remember the excitement. Well, I was a magazine junkie since I was a teenager, and I would literally wait in magazine stores when it was delivery day to get my copy back then of 17. But years later, being in Barnes and Noble and waiting for those
Yes.
magazines, Library Journal, to come out and be like, I got a new one. It was like
Yeah. Every
Yeah.
month there we were right at the door. Yep.
so
Or
much
you
fun.
yeah, or you were a subscriber, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
really, yeah, and that's how I knew about it when we moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, and we learned that they were, it was a 14 miles from my house. That's how it all kind of fell
Oh,
into place and how I got just to be in the right place at the right time. And because believe me, moving to Pennsylvania was not on my bucket list.
uh-huh.
It just,
So
but
see, that was meant to be. I love when those things happen.
yep,
And did
yep.
you love, I know for me, I love the camaraderie of working with everyone at a
Oh,
magazine, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was an amazing team of people, and you were in there with the salespeople and the marketing, and we were
Yeah,
all
yeah.
in one room, one floor,
Yeah.
very intimate, and you it was a true collaboration in
Yeah.
person, real time.
Yeah. No, I love that too. I mean, that's a real happy creative high when you can do that. And then I can remember then also then it'd be Friday night. You don't go home 7 o'clock. You have to go out and have drinks before you don't want to say goodbye to your to your group yet. And
Yeah, yeah. There was the bowling team, and definitely
there,
the
yeah.
Friday night
Oh,
happy
wow.
hour.
Oh,
Softball
all for the
team.
love of it all. Now, but now, were you trained in an art before that? What was you were making already with metal clay?
I had absolutely no business being in publishing or in the creative sphere. I had nothing. I had no education behind it. I told Merle right up front, like, I don't even have a college degree. I have no art background. Everything I have and
And
have
you're
done.
hired. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It
passion
really,
showed.
yes, I still to this day am just hungry for it. I
Yeah.
can't get enough. Like I just got a class on CraftCast the other day. I'm like, I know this, but I know, it was something that Helen had done. And I'm like, I need to get back to that. What
Yeah.
did she say about this? So it's like there's
Yeah.
just this need to constantly be learning. I
Oh,
will
I
learn
agree
until
with
the
you.
day I die.
I'm
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, we're all sort of those kind of junkies. And I tell people, like for me, I have the ability to look at any craft house classes when I want to. But that being said, I'm also a junkie for like, I watch this woman in England make cupcakes
Oh,
all the way through advanced. I have never made one cupcake, but I watched her decorate them and do the icings, and I did I don't know how many hours. That was better TV watching to me than regular TV. It was just so interesting to see, watch a person in their kitchen using a piping bag and making shapes, and it was great. So I think learning and watching is just the best.
it is
I
the
find it kind
best.
of comforting. It's like
Yeah,
I'll put something on and it's like, okay, yeah, I like what you were saying. And it's like, oh yeah, I know that. I know
yeah,
that. But then it's just a little reminder. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Or colors all of a sudden that a person picked out, or
Yeah.
certainly this woman, I've done a lot of painting of flower classes and stuff, just anything to learn. And it just puts you in a good space, I think, a mental space. And I think we need that badly. So
It is proven. There have been so
it
many
is
studies.
proven. Yeah,
It is proven. It is proven. It's not, we're not just making it up to bring more
correct.
people into what we do. It really
Mhm,
is true. And
mhm.
even for me, it gives an escape. Like I will knit till I fall asleep on the couch, and it has nothing to do with my job. It has nothing to do with my pursuits professionally. And it's like, give me something I could tune out and just be in a zone that has nothing to do with anything going on around us.
I, I'm with you. I even
Yeah.
have projects at night that are clean projects like knitting and embroidery and quilting.
Oh,
But
yes.
then certain ones of them, I want to be able to lie on the couch. The TV can be on in the background, but I need to be able to hold it like this, not just upright. So I have like resting position crafts too, because I can't just sit there with the TV on. I have to be doing something like
Oh,
that.
me
So
too. Me
Yeah,
yeah,
me
too.
too.
Uh,
Me too.
it-
It's usually
And
computer work for me though. I'm like on the
oh,
iPad doing Photoshop something or other, or
okay,
trying
yeah,
something out like that.
yeah,
But definitely or sketching. It's a lot
yeah,
of sketching on my iPad as well.
love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to ask people who would say, well, they're just going to chill tonight. And I would always say, what do you mean by that? Like, what does that look like to chill? Because that escapes me. I have to be doing something with my hands to chill. So
Yeah.
it's
My husband will say the same thing. He's like, "Can you ever just sit and do nothing?" And I'm like, "Why would I do that? Like,
I
why?"
know.
I've heard that before too.
Oh my God, we need to start the club. There we go. Stay up, do.
And
And then, yeah,
yeah. Oh,
Multitaskers Anonymous.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, wait, do you stay up late?
Oh yeah. I don't go to sleep before midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
try
not
to,
up at Orange Theory either at 5 in the morning, miss.
I'm up at 5 in the morning. I don't
Yep.
want to miss any time. Actually, today, I'll choose be told, I said this to Patrick. I've done Orange Theory and then I went to Pilates. And then I wanted to give myself a reward of donuts, and the donut store was closed.
Because you were too early.
Probably.
All I'm saying. Yeah. So well, listen, if I don't do that, no one would want to be around me. I need to get that all out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah. I know you're all the same. People would want to be around us if we didn't have something to do with our hands while we're with them.
truth.
Right. It's just the way it is. All right. So now let's talk about then how did you decide, oh, I'm going to write a book now?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think there's just something permanent, and it's an honor to be in a space where I felt I had something to share and somebody was willing to even consider it, to hear what I thought would be good to put
That's a great way
forward.
to put it.
Yeah. True
Uh,
honor.
and I obviously loved everything digital and all that, except for books. I
Oh,
still
yes.
like
Yeah.
holding a book,
Yes.
reading a book, learning from a book. I'm a book junkie.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I'd much
just
rather
bought
buy a
another
book.
book that Mary Wogelmuth had put together in 2012. And I'm like, oh, I can still get it. Let me order it. You need them.
It's yes, my flower books, my project books, inspiration books. I just go over it. If I'm sitting here in between something, I pull one of them, I just open it and I go, oh, I like those colors. I like that shape. It's just something that feels good still.
Yep. Yep.
I have a ton. I have a library full of them in the studio, just
Oh,
all jewelry
Right?
stuff and
yep.
all the other stuff that I, you know, just think about that are creative that I might want to do,
Yes.
or uh, anything that's visual has to do with the arts. I'm definitely gonna buy that book if I find it.
I know. Well, remember when coffee table books were the had to
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
coffee
It's
table books, the concept on your coffee table. My son, who is obviously much younger, grew up with that though. And his an apartment, he does have coffee table books, so it cracked me up. But last week on CraftCast, was it? Yeah, Wendy Moore from Australia was teaching us with polymer clay, color palettes and graphics. And she is inspired by Mary Mecco. And I'm here doing the class with her, but I know, wait a minute, right over there, I have the big Mary Mecco coffee table book I need to look at right now.
it's great.
Yes,
And any book can inform something else, right? And like you're saying, the art books, your flower books, those all can inform design in whatever it is, whatever medium you're working in at the moment. It could be fiber, metal, clay, polymer, anything.
it's
100%. Yeah, and the colors, that are
Oh,
there, or
yes.
proportion, or you just
Yeah.
see something
Yes.
that's not jewelry related, but you're thinking, oh, wow, that would be really great if I could do this, you know?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like,
no, it's an
yeah.
eye party. I mean, to me, it's the best. I always have stack to look through. It's just an eye party. It's a mini vacation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's time well spent.
Yeah, I love it. So big fan of that. All right, so now though, this is a fat book.
Oh, thank
That
you.
took some time to do.
It
Um,
did. I
how
feel
long
like I
did you
was
spend?
building, honestly, I don't even want to tell you because
Okay,
I
fine.
feel if 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 I really were to add it up, it's probably 20 years in the making. But it
Okay,
really, once I sat down and I did it, it didn't take me very long at all.
I
And
understand.
and I set a very aggressive deadline and I hit my deadline and
Good.
it came together fast. But I also have been in the publishing sphere, publishing projects, working with other people for 20 plus 5, 30 years.
So you knew
Um, it
the
was an
layout of
efficient,
it. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't want to diminish the fact that it didn't take me long to actually do the thing.
right. You
It
knew
took a
what was needed.
Yep.
for everything. You knew the
Yeah.
pieces that were needed, what would work,
It's
what
a
wouldn't.
lot of work, a
It's
lot of work.
It is a
You
lot
know,
of work.
whether it happens fast
But
or slow, it's a lot of work.
a lot of work.
I'm going to show this because this just made me smile. On your opening page, the cute little, can I get those in focus? I don't know. Maybe if I do down, no, it won't. Oh, wait,
Oh,
no, because they're
almost.
little beads that you used. It's
Yes.
just reminiscent of a time period. No, I
Yes.
can't get it in focus. Everyone, you're going to have, oh, wait, you're going to have to go look.
There you
Um,
go.
there we go. Just like so, remembering making just fun things.
Yes, and it's about so the concept was metal clay. I mean, of course, there's a
Yep.
bazillion, maybe not a bazillion, metal clay books out there. So I really did my homework, figured out what has been done, and when was the last one done. And somebody recently posted online, we need a new metal clay book, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I just made one. Nobody's like,
I
oh,
think I
why do
saw
we have
that
another?
post.
Yeah, I was like, whoo.
Well, it's very joyous. It's in one of those like happy, I've been looking through it and going, oh, that's pretty. I love that. Oh, look at that. And to me, that's a sign of like an
Oh,
enjoyable book when you sort of mumble out loud when you're looking through things and
oh,
go,
It's
well,
just nice to peruse and just look at stuff and,
yes,
oh,
yes. And to
wow,
thank
do
look what
it.
she did here.
Yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
Thank
Um,
you.
so you knew at least what was going on, which helped tremendously. You weren't in the dark about what's
Yeah.
needed to do a book. So that helps tremendously.
It really did. You have to have a good concept. You have to have an angle. Everybody needs an angle. I hate to quote Bing
Well, you
Crosby
need,
there, but
it's a point of view. It's a
you
point of
need
view.
yep. And then just building the content and being
Yeah,
clear. Instructions obviously for an instructional book has to be just very clear, step by
yeah,
step. You build out your step outs. It's
yeah,
the same as like when I do TV. It's the magic of TV. It's like, no, that's because there's 12 versions of the same
yeah,
project. You just can't
Yep.
see it that.
yeah.
And
Correct.
then you hit your photography deadlines. You go into the studio. You do your pictures step by step by step. Um, Labeling everything, keeping things organized. Like it's all of that is just so important when you're
Yeah,
doing any sort of documentation
yeah,
of a process.
Yeah. And
Um,
before
and
you even get there, it's that, like you mentioned it earlier, the research.
oh
you
yes,
know, because
yes,
you don't want to do a project that somebody else has already done. And
right.
so that part, I'll get lost in that because I will go and say, okay, what is all this? I need to put it all together. And what did they do? And then I'll be like, oh, wow. I kind of forget that I'm actually researching,
Yes. Wait, I want to try that. Okay, wait. First,
Yeah,
we need to
right.
focus on this.
yeah. Exactly.
And then there's also, since the last metal clay book that I think had been published, there's also been an advancement of new metal clays. And so there was also a decision that had to be made around that. And, our beloved PMC brand had,
Um,
I, I
I heard
know
that. I hear the moan.
it's still very, very heartbreaking. It was no longer available. So then now it's like, well, then, because being certified, you have some greater familiarity than just kind of taking something and trying something new. I stuck with one brand specifically for the whole book, but I also made sure people know, like, you can use any clay. You just have to
Right,
adjust for whatever that
right,
manufacturer's shrinkage
right.
rate, firings,
right,
it's good for anything. And then
right,
the design can be converted even into base metal clays. You
right,
could do it in polymer clay. Like
right,
take the designs now and do something else with it. That's really
right.
my hope, is it's a launching pad for people to, maybe get a different perspective and then
Yeah,
go crazy.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
copy it, but like now do something else with it.
Well, I think, and I always say to people, and I think it's true for me at least, when doing something, I like to copy exactly what the instructor did because then I understand. The next time I could start going away from it. But the
Yep.
Yeah.
first time I need to copy exactly just to get it in my hands of what it feels like. But it's interesting also now with metal clay that we're saying that teachers are saying that more. It's like, no, you can use any clay, just follow the instructions
Yep.
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Even when I
sintering.
taught the certification classes, for PMC, I would still tell people that it's like, PMC is my preferred brand. But once you learn the basics of metal
Right.
clay, then that can apply to every single, there are nuances between the different brands, but once you know the basics, you could take off, you could do anything, you know.
Well, considering I've been talking, excuse me, to different metal clay artists and teachers because of the price of silver these days, really starting to play more in the base metal.
Yeah.
And, as I said to someone I was talking to who'll be doing that, they're gorgeous. There's no reason not to. The the bronze one. I forget exactly what it's called that I got through Cool Tools and made all kinds of charms. I love the color. So,
Oh,
you know,
colors.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's like there's still, we'll figure out a way
And it
always.
was it was exciting that, when the base metal clays came out because, you guys probably remember all we had was silver and gold.
Yep.
And you weren't going to use gold because it was so
Right,
expensive, right?
right,
And then all of a sudden, bronze clay came on the scene and everybody
right,
was like, "Oh my gosh, it just
right.
opened up the door,
Yeah,
to all sorts of things." And now this many years on, it's like, okay, well now which brand of clay do you want to use and which,
right.
you know, I just started a project with Project X, and I think it's a red brass or red bronze that they
Red
have, and I'm
bronze.
like, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, it was,
And
yeah,
how is that
beautiful.
color?
Oh,
Oh,
it's beautiful. They're
they're
all
all
great.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I adore all that. Also, we do things now, especially on CraftCast, of mixing things together. Wait, who did the locket? The name's going out of my head right now, but they she did the most beautiful polymer clay bubbly piece that then set it in metal clay. It's just the combo is also great. I mean, so many fun things to do.
And I think that's the where I have always found the most joy is when I have rubber stamps from scrapbooking that I could then all of a sudden use in my polymer clay in the early days that then also work with metal clay. And it's like if you just clean them and take care of them, you could use them in so many ways. And now I use it in my mixed media art. And it's like those same stamps that I invested a lot of money in are still right here.
Right?
And
But
it's how
yeah,
fun is that? And like you said, the beads in the picture, it's like, well, it was fun to just make myself go back to beading and
yeah.
really apply it with metal so that people could see like you can just use all sorts of things.
Sometimes that's hard too, to go back to
Mhm.
something that you've done it a million times, and then it's like you want to move on to something else, right? And then it's like, okay, yeah, I remember how to make a basic bead and make it look good, and
I
totally.
do remember.
Hey, I'm lucky that people like you guys are willing to work with me because my thing is, oh, that looks pretty. Let's make that. Oh, what's that made of? Oh, let's do a class in that. Oh, what's that? Oh, let's do a class in that. I mean, I just love all the stuff because it's joyous to see things. And as Robert Danzig said to me once in his class, at the beginning of class, you had nothing, and now look, you just made something out of that was on the planet, 2 hours ago. And it's like a great feeling. Now I walk around my house. I literally did this other day. I'm like, oh yeah, I made that. Oh yeah, I made that. Oh yeah. Did I make that? Oh yeah, I think I made that. It's like, so yeah, it's great fun that way. Well, now, what are you working on now, Miss Tamara?
Well, the publisher has asked me to come back to the table with a few more ideas. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm, trying to figure out.
Yay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Applause.
thank you. It's wonderful to work with a partner who sees the value in it, because as
Yeah.
publishing has changed and media has changed, it's nice to see people still really see the value and the
y-
benefit of having books.
Absolutely. And the thing that I noticed, okay, so this is a phenomenon in crafting, and I think it comes to what you were saying, which has been proven that it's healthy to make things.
Oh,
It's been
yes.
proven.
Yes.
One of the things I noticed, because one of my nighttime clean activities is needle pointing, but it's not the same needle pointing anymore. And what has happened, I was there before coming home. I have three major needlepoint shops within 15 minutes from my house, with one of them just bought one in Florida and the other one opening in Manhattan. And they told me all because of TikTok, young women are now into it. Small projects, not the big ones that we all did back a million or your grandmother did back a million days ago. Small projects, but they can't keep the stuff in stock.
Isn't
They
that
can't,
wonderful?
isn't it great? I was talking to Susie, who owns Enriched Stitch in Welton, and she said that this makes sense. She goes, there's one place in Germany and only one place that makes the canvas material that you needlepoint on. How
Wow.
could that be? Well, because probably back then, going back a billion years, when it was popular, when I was a teenager and women like older did it, they didn't need it anywhere. But now the back order is huge. So I see that. Yes, she said from TikTok. And I also just see crafting in general picking up. because of that, and young people looking for something to make that is away from the computer.
It's not AI, and everything is going AI these days. And then
It-
this is something you actually do with your hands and you engage
yes.
your brain and your eyes and everything is involved instead of just, it's all done.
But interestingly enough, it's also about, which I've taught these before, a 2 hour class. So it's an experience someplace where I do a cuff that I teach lots of ways to add color and all that because people that have the experience, they've never done any work like that before, but they still leave with something pretty on their arm and had a good time. And they usually have to drink wine while they're doing it or something. But the
Yes.
experience part is very big for the young and all, that go out and have the experience of making something. Because even today, someone asked me if I could think of something for I think a senior center or something, one of those kind of experiences because people want to make things that way.
Yep. Well, and I did move into a studio. So I have a studio
Oh,
space and it is something I'm opening up to the public to have and teach classes. And so
Mm,
yeah, it's a work in progress. I think it'll always be a work in progress, but exactly for that reason. Like bring in a group of your friends, let's make something. What do you like? Is it for a bridal party? Is it for baby's
right,
shower? Like whatever
right.
it is you're doing, but also like some of my own regular classes and seeing because there are artists in this area that either want to try something new or expand their skills. And anyway, it's that's the other piece of my life that happens outside of the day job.
that's exciting though.
Yes,
It's
it
getting a
is.
studio, It's like
Yeah.
this is my place where I can play,
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh. Yes. And it's been transformative. Honestly, I moved in June and setting up has taken some time, but it just makes it so you have space and you could think and find
Yeah.
things, without having to go
For
through a
now, for
box
now, you
for
can
I was
now.
going to say the space for, yeah, see how
keep
much
watching I
space
Love
in
Tools.
yeah, right there. We have a few tools. But it's your cozy space where you can just go in and have
Yes.
all your stuff around you. It's only in my studio. It looks like this. My house, it's much more, a lot more minimal, but stuff. This is like, oh no, we need that color. We need that piece. We need that thing over there. It's just how it goes.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're all welcome. You want to teach a class, Patrick? You want to come east? Come and play.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, he's good.
He's amazing. Are you kidding? He's
I
like,
know.
oh.
I know. I know. Yeah,
You're
he,
embarrassing me now. Stop.
oh yeah. Yeah. No, he knows what he's
A little
talking
bit more, a
about.
little bit more. No.
Yeah, yeah.
You are
Hey,
But it's fun though. It's
amazing.
fun. It's,
we need that.
I love it. And even this many years on, the joy of metal clay and opening up the kiln, you know.
Yes.
And some of my favorite classes are the beginning classes. And
Oh,
you sort of walk through and you say, okay, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to fire it, and then it's going to be silver. And they're like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then they actually do it, and it's the same thing every time. Oh
I
my
made
gosh.
this.
Ooh, ah. Who
Yes.
did you take a class in metal clay for the first time? You were exposed to it, or were you self-taught in metal clay?
Great question. I had to learn it. What year was it? 98, 99 for the magazine because I was, working in the projects area. I needed to learn how to use it so I could be a better projects person. And then when I went into the editorial department, it was like, oh no, I really had to learn this. So some of it was from whatever we had published. And
Hmm.
then early on, I was able to, I was at the first conference and just kind of aligned with Celie, who, because she was on the
Oh
East
yeah.
Coast.
Yeah.
I did my certification up in her studio. I think I was the first person that she certified in her house, in her studio space there. Um,
Lucky you. Oh my gosh.
no kidding. No kidding. Her and Jen. Yep, we had an amazing
Oh,
time.
and Jen, I
Yeah.
went there too. I loved her studio and the
Oh,
whole,
yes. It was
that
She was
was,
part of the
magical.
reason I got into metal clay.
Oh,
It's because, I just figured, what is this? But then I saw her work and I was like, I knew it. I knew somebody could do something really
yeah,
fabulous with this stuff
yeah,
instead of puppy dogs and kittens,
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
I was
yeah.
seeing at the time. It's like,
well, and I had been in
wow.
polymer before that, so Celie's work was always kind of like, how do you do that? And she just I don't have an art background, so you realize like, oh, that actually plays out really well if you come up through the right channels. So you got to
Yeah.
hurry up and catch up to some things that you don't know. So anyway, she was definitely in the forefront of all of what I was learning and who I was learning from. And you start going out to the shows because that was also like embellishment, and then up in Portland, you just learn where you can.
Bead and button show.
Beat and button. Yeah. And so then when I first taught at Beat and Button, that was also like, oh my gosh, like I'm teaching at Beat and Button. How did that happen? Like,
That
is
was
this
crazy.
real?
I taught a bead and button, and right now I can't even remember what I taught. So that how crazy is that? I just remember that it was overwhelming in that huge space to get set
Oh, it's
up and
huge. It's
25 people. And
huge.
how do you get your stuff in? By the second year I taught there, what was I teaching? I can't I have to really think. Um, it was like I knew where they kept the cart where you could put your stuff on and at least get it over to your area and everything. It
One
was
of my
fun.
kilns that I brought went missing for 2 weeks after I shipped it back home. And I'm like,
We did
Yeah,
trying
ship
to
our kilns everywhere,
explain.
didn't we? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, trying to explain the, UPS. It's like they're like, it's a machine. What is it? It's a kiln.
yeah,
Oh, like for ceramics? Well, no, but yeah, smaller.
Kind
But
yeah.
of.
it's like,
Oh yeah, those are fun. I loved going there and teaching or taking was always great.
Always,
yeah, yeah.
always, always.
Yeah.
And then, TV was also another piece of
Oh yeah.
that I didn't expect to have happen. I think if I were to go back in time, I remember telling my dad in 94 when I saw Donna Cato, she was on the Carol Duvall show and her new, like at that
Yep.
time, her book had just come out. And I was like, wait, people do that? Like people do
Right.
that.
Right.
That's my life goal. I'm gonna have a project published someday. Like that was my life goal.
Mm.
And then somewhere after the first project I had published, because it was before I was just newly at Lapidary Journal, and they had like somebody fell through, and they're like, "Can you make something and do a project for us by next week?" And no, I think it was like 2 days, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, okay." And so you just figure it out. And I was like, "Wait, that was my life goal." It's like 1998.
I just,
Whoops.
I just achieved my life goal.
Hmm.
Yeah, got to think of something. Wow, I loved Carol Duvall. I was
Yes.
working in fashion and advertising and all that, but when she came on, I remember my son came out once and Carol Duvall was on, and he said to me, "Never mind, you're with Carol. I'll tell you later."
So great. Well, and then so Lynette Jennings was also on TV at that time, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was, she was also, architecture and design and early, pre-Martha Stewart, and then Martha Stewart came into this
Yeah.
the
Oh
fray
yeah.
of like exposing all of these levels of life that I had never realized existed and
Yeah.
that were possible for anybody. Anybody
Yeah.
could be a part of it. It was like,
yeah.
really?
No, it was a whole, well, Patrick and I, we didn't know this then, but we were both on Crafters Coast to Coast. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
HGTV back
Yes,
in the day. Yeah.
Right.
yes. Wow.
That
Wow.
was fun. Yeah. Back and yeah, that was my sideline at that point was I was doing the podcast, but I had fallen in love with goldsmithing. What happened was, so I'm working in fashion and all of that, but a model came in. I don't remember, no, an illustrator. I was doing magazine work and was wearing a enameled cat ring. It was a cat. It was so beautifully done and in gold. And I saw her a few times and I kept saying, "How did you?" And then she told me, "Well, I took classes in goldsmithing at Kulik Arts Academy over Balducci's uptown." Do you remember the place I'm talking about?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I took my first class with Bob Kulik. He was
Wow.
still, and there was a big sign when you walked in called "No Opinions Tolerated." So you had to do their projects in order. So
Oh.
the first thing we did was
Wow.
pretty intense enameled, and it was Byzantine. And then you set it in silver, and then you had to gold plate it, and before you could move on. And so I went there. I was a regular there every Wednesday night, and that was amazing to learn in that environment. That kind of work, goldsmith thing. You could move on to gold then. That was back when gold was $400 an ounce. I remember the first time.
Oh, yeah, that part's hard. That part's hard.
Yeah.
Oh, cost.
But that was great. And then that's when I set up then a whole metalsmithing in my loft with along with, fashion and layouts and all that, also an area to do that because it was just all that granulation work. I don't think I'd have the patience anymore to do it. But back then, it was just so interesting. And who knew? Working with metals was this whole new experience. Of course, because of that, I have never cooked or gone into the kitchen again. So we can't do it all that way.
No.
So never really, besides watching this woman carry bouquets, I think, make cupcakes. I can watch the cooking shows, but I'm not going to make anything.
Yeah.
Not my thing. We
Well,
stick to what we know.
I like watching the archaeology shows, like ancient Egypt, but I'm not going to dig up a mummy.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Not on purpose.
I'd be faster to sign up for something like that than I would be to cook something. So we know what our interests are. Like, it's, want to just keep going on. Now, do you also sell your finished pieces,
I
Tara?
do. Yeah, I do. It's not my primary focus. I feel that takes a whole nother skill set and a different type of marketing.
It does.
And, it like I have pieces on my website. I have pieces on display here in my studio. People pop in every once in a while if they need a gift. But what I usually am doing is making to teach.
Yeah.
And then there's a byproduct. And every once in a while, I get a wild hair and I'll just make something to make something. And I look forward to doing more of that. I don't, it's not really, that right now is a luxury to make,
It's
you
still
know.
important, though.
It
It'll
it
lead you to
is.
new things, you know.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well, those are two different things. I mean, when I was working in the business and doing catalogs and working with Fortunoff's jewelry and
Oh,
stuff,
mhm.
I would tell people it's a whole other thing to want to make and sell through a store. You have no idea what it's like to work with buyers and all of that. It's a
Yeah.
whole nother thing if you're going to get into that. So that never appealed to me that way. I did sell some, I used to make out of sterling napkin rings in all organic shapes that were sold in a wonderful store in Soho, called Zona back when the Santa Fe look was just beginning. But that was it. I mean, to get into selling is a whole nother career.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
Yeah.
it's a funny question to answer too, because I get students ask me all the time, and they're, oh, where do you sell your work? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I have it, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
some of it may be on my website, but I don't
maybe.
quite frankly have enough time to,
Mhm.
to do that and to sell it and maintain a good presence
Right.
because
And
I'm
what
too
about,
busy teaching and,
yeah,
figuring everything out for that.
Yep.
you
So,
got to choose your battles because I say to people, you don't understand. If you start selling jewelry, a buyer could say to you, oh, I like that, but can you do it in another color?
Yep.
yeah.
And then you're chasing it and
Yeah.
oh, yep.
A different size, another color. Can you do it bigger too? And in another color. And then if it doesn't sell, there's returns. It's a whole nother business. So,
I have a friend and she said she was taking a call and she's like, oh, it's one of my my biggest clients, blah blah blah. And so she gets off the call and she's like, oh, well, this is happening to her and XYZ and we were looking at her like she wasn't placing an order or anything, She's like, no, no, no. She's like, when they're big clients, then you have to become their therapists as well. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, another reason to stay in my lane.
Right.
yes. Yeah. Pick your
But
lane.
You're beholden to that person because, I mean, especially if you like them,
right, right.
I end up liking a lot of people who I sell to,
Of course.
but,
Of course.
and the
Uh,
students are all fantastic as well.
Yeah, I think the joy for me is the teaching and empowering
Yeah.
people to make the thing that they really want
Yeah.
to have. And then
Yeah.
therefore they're making what they've envisioned versus
Right.
you trying to guess if you got it right. I think that's what I'm called to. And I also find when you're teaching, you're helping people on another level. And sometimes maybe it is therapy that you're offering them, but in a different capacity. And I have had students who have given me feedback that and this was early on that kept me going. And it's like, if that even doesn't ever happen again, it has all been worth it to know that I have helped this person.
Ah,
One of my favorite
amen.
stories is this woman came in and she was doing the class and it was a certification class and so you do like 7 projects or 9 projects whatever it is in 3 days and
Yes.
so things move fast, right? And she was going in and she was over over criticizing herself and being too perfect and that she was holding the rest of her projects up. And we had this conversation and she came back the next day and she's like, oh my God, you don't know what our conversation led to. And I said, what's going on? She said, I was taking my work, and she developed the formulas for medication. And so her work required her to be very precise, because if she wasn't, people would die, right? And
Mhm.
so she's like, I've been bringing that to my life. I discovered it, with this class, but I'm doing it to the rest of my life too. And it's really freeing to be able to just do this and have that understanding. I was like, holy moly, well,
Yeah, that's big.
great. The power of jewelry,
Huge.
you know?
Yes, yes. Well,
It is. It's true, though.
and I think it's also the delivery. Like you clearly are called to be the person to help other people. And like I said, I've never, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I don't have any of that ability in me, but I am called to help people. And this is
I,
this is my lane.
I applaud. And I say that often, that I don't know, I'm not in politics, I'm not any of that, but I'm really dedicated to people being happy, learning to make something.
Yes,
And I
yes.
have to tell you, in the world of the internet and what's behind the scenes. And some days I'm like, I can't take it anymore. And then all of a sudden I'll get an email and it say, thank you for changing my life, that last class. And you just are like, okay, good.
Oh,
And then I'll go back, and do
yeah.
it again.
I
Yeah.
talk about that a lot, in terms
Yeah.
of, people's perception of what an artist is. Oh, I'm not an artist because I don't draw.
Right.
But that's one of my favorite things. You come into a class, and yeah, you must experience it all the time teaching metal clay. It's like they come into the class, they think that they can't do it, or,
Right.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden at the very end of class, it's like, look what I made. Look what
Yep.
I made,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's great.
Well,
Well,
Patrick and I have talked a lot before in the way back, how if you didn't draw, you weren't creative.
oh,
I
that was
didn't,
me.
right. I didn't draw as a teenager. I wasn't creative. My friends were. I didn't even know what creative. I wasn't an artist. I didn't even know what it was.
Nope.
Uh, because it was all based on if you knew how to draw life figures or really be able to draw.
Seventh
And
grade, they
so,
said you should just go to mechanical drawing because art is not your thing. And I
right.
was like, okay. And then
Okay.
home ec,
Yeah.
like you stay out of the art side of the building
Yeah.
because you can't draw.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, no, you think about it now, I realize like that
Yeah.
is really terrible, but
Now, yes.
it's a clear line of where they
Yeah.
do
At the
it.
time, I didn't know any difference, so it didn't matter. It meant going out to California. I don't know if Patrick, if I told you this, I knew about, okay, so no one knew me there. So they wouldn't know if I couldn't draw, right? And so I sat down, I remember at bed one night, and I drew like a half a dozen characters from like Winnie the Pooh, Snagglepuss. I think I still have them someplace. And I drew them. I must have had a picture to look at, but I'm drawing them freehand and colored in. And I did like six of them, and they were all perfect. And I literally closed the book and I said, oh, I know how to draw.
I can do it.
I can do it. I can draw.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
It took
And
me lessons and lessons and lessons. So you consider yourself lucky.
well, I didn't know anything. It gave me permission.
Yep. And you
Yeah.
could check the box and move on and it's not,
Yes.
yep, and not feel bad anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still would say to someone, I don't really know how to draw. And then I'm like, oh, come on, as an art director, you're always doing perspective and sketches. And I know you're the same way. But it was still left over from that early
Yes.
ages where if you didn't draw, meaning realistic drawing, you weren't an artist.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. That wasn't good. That was a mistake.
It's definitely a mistake. Well,
But
and
we
my
got
son,
past it.
we did. And I hear my son say the same thing. He's like, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I taught you? Like, stop it. And so it's still in the system that that's happening, which is unfortunate.
Sort of baked in, huh?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my other son, he doesn't look like it. He's definitely on the, not, he doesn't get it from me. He can draw. He's colorful. He sketches. He could do graffiti if he wanted to. Like, and he just doesn't care. Like he just lets whatever happen.
That's fantastic.
It really is. It's wonderful to watch. It's really wonderful to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's also the youngest, where I think when you're firstborn, you have different
Yeah.
things baked in.
Yeah.
Rules, boundaries, follow
Yeah.
You
Well,
probably have different parents too at that point because your parents have matured.
yeah.
We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
had
good
no
Nobody
idea.
did, right?
Good point.
Well, I had no idea what I was doing at all, which worked out well for my son because
Yeah,
I didn't
Eric's
know
doing
from right
great.
or wrong. He's doing fine. He did.
He's
My
all
story,
right.
he's all right. He's
Yeah,
doing well.
yeah.
Yeah. My story about him was he was like 10 months when you're on the crib and you're got your mouth and you're sort of teething on the crib, that age, and the TV was on and it was Bert and Ernie.
Mm.
And Bert and Ernie were doing the dance called the pigeon, where you raised your leg in a pigeon. And I had it on for him, but I turned around and looked at the crib and he was moving his leg as a
Oh.
and I said, do you like dance? He's not talking yet. Do you like dance? I have to show you something. Look at this. And I put on MTV.
Oh,
Oh.
At the
wow.
time was all dancing. And I'm like, do you see that? That's Michael Jackson. Do you see that? Isn't that great? That's dancing. And I think back to now, well, it worked out. It
It was.
clearly did.
Yeah.
But that was my like, you're doing the pigeon? Wait till you see this.
So you could take full credit for his current
I'll let him
status.
know. Yeah,
Yeah. Wait, I just figured it out. I know where it came from.
exactly. Oh, he
On a
sort of
daily
knows
basis,
it.
she
He's
reminds him.
he sort of knows it. I mean, to be an advocate for your kid when they are
Oh,
not in the normal lane and be like,
yep.
I have
Yeah.
artwork. There's like a few things up there because he was thrown out of art. I know he was probably acting up and dancing and singing, but he was also told the art wasn't good and it wasn't finished. And it's freaking genius over there. So I framed it
Oh,
and hung it up. I said, "Oh, it's not only is it done, it's really good." So
oh,
being that advocate, is so important
Yeah.
to help
I
yeah.
remember
creativity.
I remember trying to explain to my parents, what does a graphic designer do? They didn't know. What are you doing there? Graphic design? What it's like, yeah, somebody has to actually put these things together so you can read the book or read the magazine or get the packaging and they
Yes.
totally did. And then when I got into fashion, they were even more like, oh my
Sure,
gosh, what the heck is going on here?
sure. Yeah,
We did not raise you to do this. What
yeah.
is
Well, my
happening?
father wanted me to be a pilot in the Air Force. And
Oh,
so but bless his heart, they all my mom and my dad were very, very open about letting me do things. And he took me to dance class when I was, Dad, I want to go to, jazz class. And he took me to jazz class. I was I don't know, not a freshman, but probably sophomore in high school, and then I'm like, ballet. Yeah, I need to do ballet next, right? And didn't even bat an eyelash,
Oh,
and it was
Patrick,
like that type of support and unconditional love that
so
it's like,
important. And
and
I
it's,
love you,
yeah.
but I would never be in a plane that you were piloting, just so you know. I know how easily distracted you could be. Ooh, look at that cloud. What was that? Yeah,
oh, look at that shape. That's pretty
exactly.
cool.
Right.
How can I
Yeah.
Yeah,
replicate
yeah.
that?
I think
Oh, wait.
art goes out the window when your life is on the line. So it's like,
Let us hope a little bit. We need to know that.
well, that's
I
only
mean,
partially true, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We're all in the same boat, is all I
You
can say.
get in
Well,
the cockpit, it's like, oh, look, why'd they use this color?
yeah.
They should have used
Oh, wouldn't that be a fun new TV series?
Let's start it. What do we need to do to start that?
Oh, it's a drill. It's a drill. You know what? My son has a new TV series starting next 2 weeks from now. So it's a lot. It's a lot of hurry up and wait and get there early and wait and get people behind you and all of the above. It's just like
Mm,
anything. It's just like making your book or all of the above,
yep.
any
Yeah,
project. But
Yeah.
when you have a vision, it gets done.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. And I
And
know,
deadlines.
and deadlines.
and deadlines.
No, a deadline's a good
Where do
thing.
you get your inspiration from usually?
Oh
How do
gosh.
you get that?
Um, I will say, I know it's probably trite. Nature, ocean, the
Oh, no, we
beach,
love that.
yeah,
Yeah,
flowers, architecture,
yeah,
probably the basics.
yeah.
But the
But I
basics that
think
change every day. I go to the beach every
right.
day. In my
Oh,
car, I drive
yes.
through and it fills me up every single day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't diminish that at all actually,
No.
and
Thank
even
you.
I don't think it's trite because it really is about learning how to see what's directly in front of you in a
Hmm.
different way. And most people, I mean, it's like stopping and smelling the roses, right?
Yeah.
It's like you'll walk by this rock every single day, and then you realize one day that's a really nice rock. It's only people like us who can appreciate a nice rock,
Yes.
right?
Well, thank you. I just feel like it's kind of the basic approach of art is like just looking at what's around you. But I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're all right there with you. The
Oh
problem
yeah.
I have is last week walking, finding something in the sand and a rock and going, oh, I love this. I love this. And then don't take home one more rock
I
today.
know. How
Leave.
many
Right.
rocks can we take home? I know. My husband's like, do you really need more shells? Like, I don't think that's necessary.
Yes.
Just go home and revisit the
Yes.
ones you already have.
Revisit.
They look the same.
Yeah, that's the hard part at this point. It's like maybe it's better here with its friends. You don't have to bring it home.
Right.
Take a picture of
I
it
would
and
have
you'll
to, though. You
remember it.
have to do stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, listen, that was just one day and I did put it back down. I took a picture. I'm like, okay, I'll leave it here today.
Oh, I gotta leave you here.
Yeah, it's gotten to that. Or maybe sometimes it makes it into the car and then I go, no, put it back outside. So yeah, I'm with you on that. It's great to be and it's also sanity, it gives you it's just good for your mental health.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
You were saying before with teaching and how it feels good and all of that, but for the people that are learning, it's a dopamine rush. I mean, I think that's a real dopamine rush.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I still take classes. I have a
Oh
few
yeah.
online classes. Like I said, I just did a,
Yeah,
craft
yeah,
class
yeah,
to
yeah,
go through, and um it's important. It's
yeah.
so important to just disconnect, learn
Oh yeah,
something new, expand your brain,
Yeah.
look at things from a
exactly.
different
Absolutely.
perspective, like that rock, like look at it from a different angle. I bet it's
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love to take I still continue to take classes, and even though I know about the subject matter, a lot of times it's just having that perspective from the instructor.
Hmm.
It's saying, "Oh, this is how I approach things, and
Yeah,
this is how I hold this tool." I'm like,
yeah,
"Why didn't I think of that?"
yeah,
You're
Exactly.
brilliant,
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like as long as we're all learning from each
yeah.
other, there's I don't know,
No, I
I don't know, I
agree.
love it all. So
I
Yeah,
love it all.
we're
I
all
love
in
it
the
all.
same boat. We all feel good after all of it. So I
Yeah.
knew that. Well, let's talk about it. Is it the best to order your book online, Tamara? It's called Project and Techniques for Metal Clay Jewelry for everyone listening. I know I did Amazon. I'm
Yeah,
probably.
it's probably the easiest that I think is through Amazon. I have it here in the studio to sell, but I find people are just like picking it up. It's at every bookstore. It's usually available wherever you can
Right,
find a book. The
right.
publishers are it's an international company, so
I
they,
might have gotten it at Barnes and Noble instead because I love
yeah,
going into Barnes and Noble.
yeah.
So that's one of my favorite places to hang and look around.
it's
Uh,
great to find a publisher, that
yeah,
appreciates and still is willing
Oh,
to, uh, you know, invest in
yep.
people like you to, show what you do.
I
Yeah,
think
And
that's
it's just,
coming back too. I
I
just
hope
think
so.
that I
I hope
feel that
so.
it is. I mean, coffee table books might not make it all that. Maybe they will. You never know. But I think the holding of something's becoming important again too, not
Well,
just online.
and you have that book in your hand. It doesn't it feel so good? Like like if you watch the video of me opening the box, it really truly was the first time I held it, and it is so
I
pretty.
saw that. I
And
I smiled. I was like, oh my gosh. I was so happy for you
thank
watching that.
you. Thank you. They did ask me to do an unboxing, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it and
Yeah,
do it for real. And it literally, like, my husband and I had just sat down. We had, for no reason, we didn't know the book was coming that day. It's not like I had a bottle of Prosecco
so
open for celebration.
exciting.
It was like Saturday morning. And the box arrives and I open it and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I mean, the cover's embossed. It's got a beautiful feel to it. It's the photography. They hired somebody to do the photography and she did, I think it's a she did a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. Um,
Nice.
It
the
is.
Even the
It's
how
rich
even
lovely.
the how to, or did you do the how to, the
We
step by
did
step?
all of the step out photography and some of the like smaller samples, but they did all of the finished work.
Yeah, it's
To
Nice.
send it
beautiful.
off to
It's
them. Yeah.
beautifully done.
Oh,
And
they
we
did
know
it.
it's not easy to shoot small and to shoot jewelry and to shoot
And shiny.
silver. Yeah, shiny. Um,
I did everything so they knew what was coming. And I'm like, and you could use these if we want. They're like, no, just send it to us. And I'm like, yeah, no, my photography is nothing like what they finally got. I'm like, nope. You
no,
know.
it's a party. It's a party to enjoy and hold in your hand and go through, and a good break from life when you need it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it
everyone
helps
take a
somebody.
look.
It's really good
Always.
foundational information, but I think it's always been my approach of just because it's basic or beginner doesn't mean it has to be boring. And
Oh
so
gosh, no.
you can learn something, you can make something and it'll be very pretty. Here's the basics. Here's.
And I'm a big picture person. I go through a book first, only looking at the pictures before I back up and read copy. So, I
Yeah.
need to look through and find my visuals. So, well, kids, that was fun.
Oh, it was amazing. You
We
guys are
love
awesome.
hanging
Thank
out
you.
and chatting and having a good time. So thank you so much for coming on and talking with
Yeah.
us.
Thank you and congratulations.
Yep, big
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
congratulations.
you.
Excited.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the high for a while. It is
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
And we love doing this. We love everyone who listens in. You can find us over on, if you're listening on CraftCast or Spotify or Apple Podcast. Thank you for listening and coming on, and we look forward to next time we're with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's chat. You can follow us and subscribe at Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And please take a look at all our amazing video tutorials at craftcast.com.